Hello and welcome to Out of the Box on the Games Done Quick Hotfix, where the mics definitely always work. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. I have been party to that myself, but we are ready to get into a night of fun with RPGs and other fantastic indies across our night of programming, starting with a challenge run that fits the nature of Out of the Box. It is a solo Throne glitchless run of Octopath Traveler 2 from my friend Jacoby. How fare you, my fine traveler friend?
I indeed fare very well. Hello,
Good.
I'm Jacoby. I will be running Octopath Traveler 2, as Ateatree said. The main goal with these solo runs is to beat that character's story with only that one character in the party. It's an intentional limit to see how far you can push this one character in the game. It's something that I very much enjoy. I think it's very nice to see each character's strengths and weaknesses and where you can kind of pair up their innate talents with with the 12 sub jobs that are in the game. There's the 8 standard jobs, one for each of the main 8 characters, and then there are 4 secret jobs. During the run, we'll be grabbing 2 of them, and so I'll let you know when those happen. So let's get ready to start a new game here quickly. So time will start when I confirm the character choice here. So we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I take what I
Good luck and have fun.
Thank you very much.
again.
So, just a little bit about backstory of the game. Octopath Traveler 2, sequel to Octopath Traveler 1, came out in 2013. Oh my goodness, 2013.
No, time doesn't go that fast, please.
It's 2023 is when Octopath Traveler 2 came out to Octopath Traveler 1's 2018 release. Very similar to the structure of Octopath 1, there are 8 characters with 8 stories for you to explore. And this is Throne. She's the thief of the party. She's got a couple abilities. We'll see one of them right here, which is ambush. The abilities in this game are called path actions, and differing from Octopath 1, there's 2 cycles. We have day and night, each of which coming with their own path actions for each character.
Be calm.
So, Throne's is ambush, and that allows us to effectively knock someone out of an area. That takes them out of being active on screen, which means that they are not counted towards the active people. There are some quests that will deal with that. We'll be seeing one of them up in about half an hour or so in, I believe. But yeah, so a little backstory on Throne. Again, she's the thief. She's been working for a crime syndicate, going around stealing things, taking out people, general crime syndicate things. But general gist of her story is she wants out. She's done with the mafioso crime life. She just wants to be normal. And so that's the crux of her story, is finding out how to leave, which realistically entails getting rid of the thief's collar that has been locked around her neck.
I was thinking it was that natural story of the, one last big score, but being chained to your circumstances is, 1, very appropriate for Octopath, and 2, also makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. In general, I guess we got an extra herb of clarity there. We don't need that, but always nice to have sometimes. Again, in general, standard RPG fashion. Most RPGs, you'll end up killing a god at the end of it. It's a great time. I always recommend these games if people want to start playing RPGs. They're very easy to get into. Very good tutorials. Very good if people are looking for a good story. I always recommend these games. They're
Okay,
just,
so
they're
you
just
mean
a great
more
time
playing
all around.
casually?
Yeah, even for speedrunning, I have been consuming speedrun content for probably the better part of 15 years or so now. However, I only just started speedrunning about 3 or 4 months ago.
Hey,
I
never
finally
a bad time to
decided.
get started.
Absolutely, it's never too late. And I started with actually Octopath Traveler 2. I started a couple days after anime fans run at GDQ 2026 of Casty solo. That's what initially inspired me to get up and actually start playing.
Hey, that's awesome.
And I have not looked back since.
That is often how it goes when you find a run that speaks to you.
Yep.
Not bad.
I originally started with Casty, which is the run that he played. Casty is the starter apothecary. She's also a great run. Very, very big on Casty as well. She's probably my favorite character in the second game. Although Throne comes in as a close second.
We had a lot of fans in chat of Temenos.
My turn.
Yep. Temenos is also a very good character. He's very smug,
Cleaning time.
and I kind of like that. He's a very
Yeah.
he's supposed to be a priest, but
I
he
see.
effectively turns into Batman.
And so it
Not the worst thing to be in a video game.
Nope, not at all. His story is actually very cool too, and so it's a. I think, from my experience, it is one of the more demanding solo categories. I'm not super sure about single story. Quickly explain oh my goodness, don't get stuck. Single story is exactly the same as solo, except without the party restriction. You're allowed to have up to the 4 characters in your party at one time. All right, so that was that boss that we just faced was the first boss. That was Pyro. If you noticed, he looked very similar to the guy that was in our party right at the beginning for those first couple battles, and it is true, it is the same guy. The whole point is that Mother and Father, 2 of the high up people in the Thieves Guild or Assassin Band or whatever they'd like to call it here, they're kind of unhappy that Throne wants out. So they sent both Throne and Pyro to take out an unnamed high-profile target.
ready.
The targets being each other, but they did not know that until they confronted each other. So, in order to leave, you have to take out someone who you've known and worked with for a long time, that's a very hard thing.
Sure, but it's
Anyway.
unsurprising that they'd be so calculating about it. You know, they treat all of their members as pieces on a chessboard. So if one of them starts going out of line, what do you do but send the others after them?
Exactly. Mother and Father do some very devious things in this run, and we'll mostly gloss over them. Not because we got to skip the cutscenes, because cutscenes kind of slow. If you ever play this, don't skip the cutscenes.
Speaking of not slow, it looks like we're passing an awful lot of time right now. So we're
Absolutely.
getting an object lesson in the day-night system, but what else are we doing here?
So currently, we are rolling the black market. So what this means is that we're getting really unlucky right now. That's what this means.
I see.
But every time you go to night on specific screens, there we go. We roll what's called, I'll sell both of them. We roll what's called the black market. And it's a series of buyers that will show up that will give you a chance to purchase rarer items. So in this instance, unlucky encounter, that's fine. In this instance, we needed to get the nuns because they sell items called soul stones. Soul stones are elemental fixed damage items, meaning that no matter what, no matter what enemy, no matter what defense, they will always do the amount of damage that they are assigned.
Yeah,
Small
sounds like
stones,
those will be crucial in boss battles if I had to guess. The kind of thing that can do more damage than you can.
yeah, for the beginning, for when we're at the beginning here, we're very low level. So we're going to use a couple of them to take out some high level encounters.
Cleaning time.
To be able to run away. Not run away, well, we ran away there. But we want to kill some higher level encounters because we're like level 5. And
Right.
we need to be a higher level.
Essentially, if we can use fixed damage, we can kind of power level through the right encounters.
Exactly.
What
Perfect.
to do?
So we're heading up to, we are on our way to our first sub-job. Sub-jobs are any of the 12 jobs can be applied to one character at a time.
My turn.
So we are on our way to the scholar job. The scholar is, the primary scholar is a character named Oswald, who he was passed out in the snow a screen back, if you guys caught that before I ran away. He's also a very interesting character. I can't say he's interesting. Every character is interesting. I can't just say one of them is. They're all very good characters, and I love them a lot.
Time to clean up the film.
But,
What to do?
oops, that was a mistake, but that's fine. I knew I'd miss menu at least once. Good to get it out of the way now. So because we are power leveling, everything in here hits really, really hard. So we want to try and not, we want to try and make sure that we're going first. And here we go. We got unlucky. There's in Octopath and Octopath Traveler 2, there is a battle mechanic called Surprise and Being Surprised. So I believe it's a 33% chance all around to be neutral, meaning that it's based off speed.
My turn.
I mismenued again, sorry. I used the wrong item, but this is fine, I think. I can get it back up.
And so it goes.
So, we're gonna do this.
Good to hear the game has some error tolerance, especially as something you take up as your first speed run. There are certainly RPGs out there where it's, you mismenu once and your best option is to die and try that battle again.
Yep, I mean, that is something that I could do, but I'd rather just go through. We are going to be tagging a town called, what's it called? We're still fine. Yep, we're going to be tagging a town called Winterbloom. Tagging, in the sense of the Octopath community, is running to a town and then leaving. Okay. So what that does is visiting I got an encounter here. That's fine.
What to do?
This just means that I can't take an encounter later.
I take what I want.
I would have rather taken the encounter later because the encounter later will give more XP, but who's to say? Anyway, so there's another stone that I'm going to go grab quickly to make up for the first one. But back on tagging, being able to go to a town gives us the ability to directly teleport to it. There are other special screens that we can go teleport to directly. There are 3 other screens called the harbors. There is a ship in this game. However, at the beginning, you got to pay for it. In order to get your own ship, you have to spend $100,000, which is a lot, but very doable in this game.
Yeah, considering we were with the items we picked up early and the soulstones were on the order of 4-digit numbers, a 6-digit number seems pretty big.
Yeah, it's very big, but also it's very doable very quickly.
What to do?
There are ways to reduce costs. However, they are exclusive to the primary merchant, Partitio. Another great character. Love him to death. But we're not here to talk about Partitio. We're here to talk about Throne. So we are currently entering. This is a theme. You'll hear me say this a lot. We're entering an area where we're not supposed to be yet.
Yeah,
So
I
we're
saw the
going
danger
to-
level be 3.5 times as high as the last one we saw, where we were also in an area we weren't necessarily supposed to be in yet.
Yep. So we are in an area called the Cavern of Water. This is an end game area and has some very big and scary encounters. The reason that I just saved and save and quit is for that exact reason.
Sure.
So what saving and quitting does, it resets something called the step counter. If you're familiar with RPGs, a step counter is pretty universal. It determines how long you can walk / run in a room before you hit an encounter.
And some games will actually surface that kind of thing in, like, gosh, I wish I could remember the game off the top of my head, but like there are some that show you basically a danger rating as you take more steps, where it goes from like green to yellow to orange, showing you're about to get an encounter. But I'm not surprised to hear there are a range of games that use a step counter style system.
Yeah, the big games that made step counter famous, at least to my knowledge, in the speedrunning scene, are the older Final Fantasy games.
Yep, that tracks.
My turn.
Yep, they're very careful world map progression in Final Fantasy games to limit or carefully count the number of encounters you get.
Absolutely. So step count's important in that. Another lesser known RPG that I'm also a fan of is Lufia. Those are some good games on the SNES. And their speedrun also basically any RPG speedrun really cares about a step counter, if that is the method of determining whether an encounter is used. So sometimes, speaking of step counter, you'll see me walking through a room, because running doubles how fast your step counter goes up. So by walking a portion of it, you end up being able to clear some rooms without an encounter, rather than running through them. Right, so we got unlucky again.
Like this.
Speaking of luck and unluck, we may run into an enemy called a Kate. Just like mythology, Kates they're cats, and they have a lot of treasure. And we want that. The treasure is really nice to have, because
All tidied up.
a lot of the Octopath runs, both solo and single story, have a in addition to an EXP route and a JP route, they have a money route. It's not as intimidating as it sounds. If you have a JP and EXP route, just really take the encounters that you're supposed to take. All right.
Hope for a run where you don't get caught by surprise too much.
Exactly.
These things happen.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
this is one of those things that I feel like would potentially represent a sticking point for some people when it comes to a game. What about this game keeps it feeling fun and accessible for you, even knowing that, getting caught by surprise is a distinct possibility?
To clean up the filth.
Well, getting caught by surprise is not really that big of an issue.
There is that.
You have more than one
I
character.
take what I want.
Fair.
However, we have one character. So because of that, in the beginning of the game, before we go get some high-level armor that we're not supposed to have when we go get it, it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier to be surprised and survive. Right now, if we did not get that third encounter up in Winterbloom, I would be running through the screen to get an encounter. However, we got that third encounter, so I don't want the one here. Moving on, we're going to be tagging a town called Sai. It's kind of the desert's kind of like a warrior area. All right, there's a chance that we could live. Never mind. So if you notice in the top of the screen there's the turn order. And depending on the turn order of getting surprised, there are situations in the early game when I can actually survive. However, those are kind of few and far between because they require a specific turn order, and then they require the enemy to use the correct move. In this case, I need the guy in last to be going last, and he needs to buff. However, in this case, it's a damage roll. So even if I get the correct turn order and everything, I still could die. which is
Yeah,
fine.
as
I
is
think.
often the case with RPGs, you know, high rolls and low rows. You hear about it most in Pokemon, but it's true in many circumstances across many RPGs where you might
Absolutely.
survive something where somebody else who was playing exactly the same way simply didn't.
Yep, and that happens. That's also kind of one of the reasons I'm big into RPGs. Is that it's the chance.
Okay.
One thing that you'll hear a lot in speedrunning and in games in general is RNG, and you could not find more of it in an RPG. It's between damage rolls and in this game. Oh, we are getting so unlucky right now. Okay, that's one of the situations where I could have survived if that
Yeah,
last
but
enemy
not with
used
the
the buff
buff.
move. He did not buff, so because he didn't buff, we didn't survive. But it's okay.
Yeah, and I would say one of the other things, you know, we've kind of been seeing it play out is that, as somebody in chat mentions, the autosave in this game is strong, so that it really helps control for malicious RNG, if you want to put it that way.
Absolutely. Autosave is my savior. Autosave gives as much as it takes. There's a right at the end of the run, there is a section towards where we are getting to the last town, and from when you enter the sewer that we left at the beginning of the game to when you get to the last town, there is no autosave. It's weird. I don't know. We have multiple screen transitions, but we do not get an autosave for some reason. So if you get an encounter there, it can be a little dicey, but it's not the worst.
Time to clean up the filth.
Just like right here. So we are. This is one of the worst cases. We'll just keep getting surprised. Although, as is a meme in the Octopath community, if you're not getting surprised, you're not playing Octopath. So we are currently going through our power leveling arc.
Let's play.
We're going and getting a bunch of items that we will use to kind of break the game. And what I mean by break the game is be way overpowered for where we are really supposed to be.
Got it. So once we get back on the critical path, everything will be a cakewalk.
For the most part. There are a couple parts that can be a bit dicey, but like RPGs, as much as there is a bunch of RNG involved, there also is just as much static numbers and static rolls.
Especially when you're using these soul stones to inflict damage and other things like that might happen across the main path of the story.
Yep. Okay, I already equipped the JP amulet. Oh, wait. Yes, I did that, and then Octopath.
Oh.
We have been getting very lucky with our steals today. Speaking of which, I guess I should explain what stealing is. So Throne's day path action, or her special action during the day, is stealing things. She's a thief. She's very good at it. And there is a percentage about whether you will succeed in your theft. So that is what we mean by kind of RNG. I mean, there have been times where I have gotten a 3% chance to steal something and stole it first try. Just as many times as I have I've attempted to steal something with an 80% chance to succeed and missed 4 times. Real story that happened on my PB run, which
of course
quickly became not a PB run.
Right. I don't know if you ever played, if you played tactical games, if you've ever played XCOM, it's, you know, depending on whether it's for or against you, 80% might as well be 0%.
Exactly. All right, so this is one of the 4 secret sub-jobs. This is the sub-job called the Inventor. We'll see it a little bit later, more towards the middle and end of the run. But the whole goal of the Inventor sub-job is, in order to unlock skills, you must bring pieces to make the Inventor's inventions. He's missing a couple things. He wants you to go find them for him.
Let me guess, we just happened to have some of them on us by the time we got there.
Yeah, they were just lying around in my pockets along with some
Nice.
lint.
Yeah, no, good finds.
Yep.
Time to clean up
Really
the
lucky
filth.
on the,
Afraid of the dark. Who's next?
that was the wrong.
My
That's
turn.
fine. We'll just flee this one. All right.
Too slow.
Flee.
We'll just flee eventually.
This will come up. This will come up later in the run. But flee is based on your, I believe, level compared to the enemy's level, along with the
Okay.
speed. I'm going to put that on. Actually, make sure that the Octopath amulet is on. Good. All right. So we are approaching my two most dreaded screens.
Okay.
Just like in RPG fashion, RNG is really heavy here, especially with turn order. So we need to not get surprised, which is good, and we also need to go first or second.
You're just getting started.
If we go third, there is a very high chance that we die, even if we get our extra turn with the skill that we picked up by making 2 inventions called a step ahead. Each job has what's called passive skills. In the game, they're called support skills, but they act as passives, and they, excuse me, they are always active, and they will sometimes do some different things.
Always
we'll be
active as
picking
long
up
as you have the job equipped, or just always active once you have the job?
as long as you have enough skills in the job to unlock that
got it.
specific passive, and you have the passive equipped. All right, we did not level up on the last, so let's heal just to make sure that we're good.
Time to clean up the filth.
So, all right, so we've got caught by surprise, so we most likely die.
Like
Yep.
this.
There's a chance that we can survive that. Again, it's another buff. The big rock lizard has a buff called Rock of the Heavens that he can use. If he uses that, there's a more decent chance that we survive. If not, we die. Either way, we are on our way to collect our second sub job, which is on this screen actually.
Cleaning
It
time.
is the merchant sub job. The merchant sub job is probably the most known sub job in all of Octopath speedrunning.
Who's next?
It is very, very good.
So it goes.
It has one key class ability called Hired Help, which is effectively throwing money at your problems. It works very, very well. It has, when you use Hired Help, there are different amounts of money that you can spend to hire different types of crews. So the three, we will be using a decent amount of them. The only ones that we do not use, I believe, are the thespians, and I think that might be it. I think we all, whoops, forgot to equip the skills. I think we don't use the thespians, and those are the only ones that we don't end up using. But as we use the different hired helps, I will explain what they do. We're starting into one now. All right, well, after this battle, after we die here, we'll be going back and I'll explain the first hired help that we're gonna see a decent amount for this run. Did I? Let's see if it saved that. Okay, it did save that. All right, while I'm running back to that battle, the two passives I just equipped were called Grows on Trees and Boost Start.
Let's play.
All right, well, I have some more time to explain
You've got
these
time.
things. I've got some time. Don't mind that I am trying to go fast. But the Grows on Trees is the first passive. It's the first passive that you unlock from the merchant class. Oh my goodness. Grows on Trees will give you extra money when you finish battles. That's very important for a game with a money route. It's not a lot, but it is nice. It does accrue over time. Just to make sure that you are actually kind of hitting it. There are money backups. There we go. All right, so we are hitting our first hired help, which is the guards. So the guard's special ability is that they push back enemies' turns. So the turns, if you had noticed in the second bar on top, which says next turn, all of the birds went before me. However, after I used the guards, they got pushed back until after me, which is what allows me to clear that battle. will be
Right, so you're effectively gaining a bonus turn by manipulating the turn order using the job skill.
Yes. Speaking of bonus turns, Throne has an innate bonus turn. From this point, she's getting... Okay, I do have LP. She gets 2 bonus turns, technically.
As long as we don't get caught by surprise.
As long as we don't get caught by surprise. Again, you aren't playing Octopath if you're not getting surprised.
If we somehow got... no, I would say the inhibit defense twice in a row was funny, but more of a time loss than anything else, huh?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, without the inhibit defense, though, that baby bird does not kill you. So you need at least one. You are always going to have 2 actions. The enemies are always going to get 2 actions there, to my knowledge, unless they crit. All right, so we'll be using. This will be a showcase of Throne's extra turn. Her latent power. All of the characters have what's called a latent power. I was supposed to defend here. That's fine. We'll just take the slow. All right, so we'll die here. Sorry about that. Supposed to.
Nothing to apologize for.
That one is much better if you just end up dying. It's much better than trying to have to freestyle that.
Okay.
But to explain Throne's latent power, it's an extra turn basically. You get more turn per turn, which
an extra turn and a power up if the battle starts at night, right?
Very nice. No, the latent power can be activated at any point. You can use it during any battle at any time, which is very helpful. The main way that you get latent power back, there's 3 main ways. You can rest at an inn, which will fully refill latent power, HP, and mana, which is called SP in this game, or skill points, I believe is the acronym there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we're going to do this battle correctly this time, and we're going to be using 2 more of our hired helps here. We're going to be using the Ruffian, which won't deal any damage, but will debuff the enemy's defense and physical attack. And then we used our guards again. So the way that we can kill that encounter is that we have to have our latent power. We have to get that extra turn so that we can use the guards, so that we can use both the ruffians to lower the defense and the guards to attack in the same turn. All right, so moving on, we are now going down to another area where we're not supposed to be yet. This is the Ivory Ravine. We are here to grab a weapon, and then we are bolting, because this area is very dangerous. If you get caught here, it is an instant kill, no matter what. There always is a very small chance to flee. But again, that depends on level and speed. But at that point, you shouldn't really try to push that because it's very unlucky. It's very low. It's a very low chance.
I don't think you'd want to route in a 3 or 5% or whatever the base chance is to flee into your speedrun if you don't have to.
Absolutely not. That's why. That's primarily why we walk from getting that encounter where we use the ruffians and the guards to the when we get that pickup, which is a weapon called the Lost Tribes Axe. That'll become important that weapon will become important when we take the inventor subjob later. Weapons have a unique interaction with the way that one of the main skills of the inventor, the changeable catapult, it is the way that is used, or the way that was made in the game. I'll explain that once we get there.
You've definitely got my interest with the idea of a job in this, kind of a mid fantasy universe having a catapult that has various forms. So I look forward to hearing more about that.
Yep, it's very cool. It's used in a decent amount of the speedruns.
Okay.
Of both solo and single story. Another, if I may plug myself for a minute, another category that I run of this game is Galdera. If you don't really know Octopath, Galdera is the super boss, one of the super bosses of the game. He's the like true ending final boss that you encounter. And there's different requirements to meet him in each game. In Octopath 1, you are required to complete all the character stories, so all 4 chapters of all characters. And in Octopath 2, all you're required to do is beat a boss called the Scourge of the Sea, and finish 3 side quests. However, I mean, the big bar there is that you also need your own boat, because the commercial boats do not go to the Gate of Finis, which is like kind of to my knowledge about the game, it's kind of like a portal that takes you to where Galdera is. All right, so this is our first instance of using hired help bee stings, or bee slings. I can't read. Their special ability is that they break, or they take away shield points no matter what weapon type or element type the enemy is weak to.
I see. So they're able to do shield agnostic damage essentially.
Yes, in addition to dealing actual damage, which is very, very nice. In addition to their different effects, we're gonna try taking that nut. Whatever. Sometimes he lets me take his things, other times he doesn't. It's really a weird roll. But should be level 18 by now. I am not. All right, so we're gonna go take another encounter. Because I got the 3 Monkey Kings, I'm just realizing now I don't. That's the reason I don't have enough
XP.
Let's take off. Yeah. Because that's why I don't have enough XP. Although I did see that I am.
Let's play.
Okay, well here is that Ida. Here's that Kate I was talking about earlier. That's going to really help.
Nice.
Kates give a bunch of money and a bunch of XP. So now I am definitely level 18.
Yeah, if you're ever on the other side of, or if you're the kind who pores over SRC boards, or is ever in the process of being able to review and accept runs to marathons, you will see the phrase Kate mod come up attached to Octopath runs, not infrequently.
Yep.
Yeah, the ability
mod,
to go for it.
Yes. The Kate mod is it's a mod for Octopath Traveler 1 that guarantees that you get a Kate as the first encounter on a specific screen. This really takes out some of the variance of trying to sit there and grind for a Kate,
Sure.
which can suck sometimes. You can be sitting there for a while. There are ways to kind of increase the chance. In this game, there's one of the Hunter's passive skills. That's a job that we're not going to see during the run. But one of the Hunter's passive skills is called More Rare Monsters, which increases the chance of those types of enemies showing up. Those being the Kates, the Kate variant, and the Octopuff variant, one that we have not seen yet.
What to do? As swift as a...
So we are going to use that same strat from earlier, Ruffians into the 4 guards, and that's going to take out the encounter here.
I take what
Alrighty.
I want.
So we are going to grab an armor that we're going to use for the rest of the game. It's called the Antique Coat. Very, very good armor. Alrighty, now that that's done, we are currently moving into kind of our grind of the run. As in any RPG, typically have a grind. This is one of 2 for the run. This is the JP grind.
Let's play.
If I have not explained JP yet, JP stands for job points. Job points are used to purchase class skills. In this case, we need 4,000 job points in order to purchase the last couple skills from Throne's track, the thief track. We are going to, while we're just grinding, we're going to go get a couple other items. One of them being the Rusty Staff. The Rusty Staff is a weapon for one of the other secret class that we're going to see in the run, called the Arms Master. So the Arms Master, in order to unlock it, we'll be going back up to...
Play. My turn.
Okay, we'll defend here. Alright, this should kill. There
Hey,
we
look,
go.
we finally got the status effect message for real in a fight that will continue through this time. Now we don't have to worry about it later.
Yep. Alright, so we're buying a couple skills for Throne. We don't need them yet. But,
am I right to figure that job points are, you basically have a base number of job points and you're able to spend them again on different jobs that you haven't leveled yet? Or do you have a set number and you have to spread them between jobs?
So you have at the end of every battle, you get job points.
Mm-hmm.
How you spend them is up to you. You could spend them on unlocking thief jobs, or you could spend them on unlocking priest jobs or any of the other jobs. Typically minus the 4 secret classes. They typically have their own way to unlock skills, namely being the 2 that we see in this run. Right, this is not a fun encounter to have.
Cleaning time.
All right, we're going to we're gonna defend there to make sure that we have enough damage. All right, now that we're inventor, I guess I will explain the changeable catapult. All right, we're gonna heal up just in case we get surprised. I'd rather not die. Because you can, now that we have the antique coat, we can make it through this. All right.
You could also get caught by surprise.
Yep, we can still get caught by surprise, but because we have the antique coat, we should be fine. That encounter with the goat and the porcupine is not fun. So we have a windstone that we will use, that we would have used later. But there's nothing wrong with that, so there's nothing wrong with using it there to get rid of that. All right, so now that we've done that, we're going to head down to Sai.
I like that our power equipment set is an antique coat and a rusty staff. Makes us feel more like a junk merchant than anything else.
So before I touch on the rusty staff, actually, now that we're the inventor and we're going to be using the ability a lot, I'll talk about the way that weapons work with the changeable catapult class ability of the inventor. So the inventor has an ability called changeable catapult. Changeable catapult is an attack skill that allows you to deal any type of damage to any type of physical damage to enemies.
All tidy.
However, it uses the attack value of the weapon that you have equipped on your attack prompt, rather than the weapon that is equipped for the changeable catapult prompt. So that's why before I use changeable catapult, you see me switching to the big axe that we picked up earlier. That way, because if I were to use my knife has like an attack value, I think of like 5. So it'll combine that with my staff.
Got it. So this is the strongest weapon you could get your hands on without having to walk too far into danger.
Yep. So we'll be using, as long as we're using inventor, we'll be using that axe and changeable catapult. And that's kind of our bread and butter on doing damage as the inventor. So we'll be doing this for most of this will be how we do our damage for the first grind. The second grind, which I will talk about later when we get closer to it, is we should, at that point, we'll have enough money that we can just use hired help and get it solved that way. Alrighty, so we just tagged Wellgrove. Wellgrove is the town that Throne's chapter 3, part A takes place in. Throne's second and third chapters have 2 parts.
All tidied up.
In terms of chapter 2, one of them is a story chapter. Story chapters being they don't have a boss at the end. You just kind of run through them, a bunch of cutscenes maybe, maybe a battle, but like if you have to go between
Well.
an area where you can encounter something, but you don't have to fight a boss at
I
the end.
take what I want.
Boss chapters are the exact opposite. It's story, but at the same time, you have to fight a boss at the end of it. So Octopath Traveler, every story will have one non-boss chapter, and the rest of them, whether they're in parts or one single chapter, it will have a boss. So we are currently heading to our grinding spot. We've kind of been grinding on the way over,
Let's play.
but this is where we'll actually get most of our JP, unless we get like a rare enemy. This is the quicksand jail, if I remember correctly. Yes, quicksand jail. This has got some higher level enemies that we will want to grind, because they drop a good amount of JP, and they drop the XP is nice, but we are mainly focused on the JP.
I gotta say, the enemy design here changed. It doesn't look like the kind of enemy you should be fighting 40 minutes into the game, but what do I know?
Not really at all.
Let's play.
So this is an area with a secret boss. You end up getting another rusty weapon
And so it goes.
after beating it, but we're not gonna fight that because it's slow, and we don't need that extra rusty weapon. So we picked up a backup windstone there. We don't technically have to pick that up, but we can.
What to do?
I did not switch to day in time. I did not switch from day to night, so we are going to. I should be fine with that latent power. We're going to take an extra turn to increase our BP by 1.
I take what I want.
BP standing for battle points. You can spend them on. You accrue 1 per turn, and you can spend them on skills, attacks, buffs, debuffs, to exacerbate the effects of them. So, in terms of changeable catapult, using more BP equals more damage. That's it for most attacks. If there are some, like some of the warrior classes attacks, I need one more battle. Some of the warrior class will have, they will deal increased amount of times. But for the most part, if it's an attack, you're just doing more damage. If it's a buff, the buff lasts longer. Debuffing lasts longer. That sort of thing. All right, so we have hit our 4,000 JP goal. So we are going to buy the last 2 skills for Throne for her thief class. So now that's done, we're gonna put back on a couple of our skills. I guess while I'm here, I should explain those. Oh, I'm going to Ore's Rush. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do Winter Bloom. Nope, I gotta do Ore's Rush first. The skills that I just put on, one that we've had since the beginning from the Scholar is called Evasive Maneuvers. It cuts the step count that we produce by half.
My turn.
Really good, because it means that we can run more and walk more without getting encounters.
Yeah, you're running at standard step rate and walking at half.
Yes. I believe it cuts it in half. I'm not super sure on the percentages, but it is around there. It's a large amount.
I love that. You know what it means by feel, even if not by number. That speaks to me so much as somebody who runs a lot of like roguelikes. You just know it by feel sometimes.
Yeah, it's a feel thing. If I have to take encounters while I have evasive maneuvers on, it got to the point where I'm like, I'll probably get an encounter around here, and then I'd flip it to night, and lo and behold, right as I flipped it to night, I'd hit the encounter.
For sure. How many hours would you say? You said you started running a handful of months ago. How many hours would you estimate, Steam hour count aside, did you put into different categories of speedrunning this?
Well, I mainly played when I played Octopath 2 for the first time, I played it on Switch.
Okay.
So my Steam hours are really my speedrunning hours.
Okay.
I mean, there was a bit of time where I was like, oh, I'll do a 100% run.
Sure. Yeah.
While I'm here, guess I'll switch to thief or merchant. Guess I've forgotten to switch back. we're getting incredibly lucky on our steals right now. I think we failed one, but it's a non-required steal, just for fun. The thing that we just stole is called the Sturdy Pickaxe. It gives us it's a quest item that gives us another rusty weapon, the Rusty Sword. So we'll be doing that at the beginning of Chapter 2, Part B, which we will be doing right after this chapter ends. We just started Chapter 2, Part A by entering the town, and we'll just be finishing this up. This is Throne's story chapter, so you just got to walk around, steal some stuff, talk to some people, and then this chapter ends.
Not gonna lie, as an experienced thief, I feel like the instructions steal something off of someone's face is like a red red flag.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I don't know how she just gets to take something. I feel like you'd notice. You'd have to. You'd have to notice.
Speaking of right, we drank from the right cup.
Yep. So we're going to head down to Harrywise. All right, so let me check if I have LP. I do. That's good. All right, so now that our grind is done, we can go into the equipment menu and take off the JP Augmenter. It is an item that I picked up at the very beginning from that very, very scary looking cave on the beach. And what that does is it increases the amount of JP that we get. Really, really helpful for our grind because we need a JP. But now that we're done, we can put on an amulet called the Empowering Amulet. Let me focus on the fight here quickly.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Once that's done, I'll explain what this fight is. Bee stings. Okay, so then palm into guts. Okay. All right, so that's the main use of the bee stings there. We really want to break these guys because they hit hard. And then we're using our veterans, which they cost the most at this point anyway.
All tidy
and
up.
then they just do the most damage.
I was gonna say, given the size of the numbers, there's a reasonable explanation as to why.
Yep. All right, so by doing this encounter, we have now unlocked the foreign assassins as hired help crews. So what that means is that I can now spend money to hire those assassins that I just defeated to aid me in battle. They're very helpful. They're used in the final boss as the primary method of damage. I don't need to steal from you, but honestly, it's cool that I did. So she is the woman that we give the rusty pickaxe, the sturdy pickaxe to get the sword out of the stone. We'll be taking the rusty weapons up to Gravel, and that's how we're going to de-rust them and make them actually worth something. But for right now, we're just doing Throne's Chapter 2. General gist of Throne's story. At the end of Chapter 1, she kind of learned where people who might have info on where Mother and Father are, where they might be. And so they were in Oars Rush and they're in Winterbloom. So that's why we are here, and we're going to get the information. Those are nice steals to get. They're not required, but they help out the money route a lot. I think they're like 6,500 and 9,000. Those two items that we just stole. So they're worth a lot. So in terms of Throne's story at this point, we have made our way to Winterbloom to find a thieves organization called the Snow Hares. They have a man called Bergumi, who we previously dealt with when we were with Father as a thief in training.
Clean up the filth.
We're gonna take a quick encounter here, where we're going to just use the stone. They're gone.
Take what I want.
It's really nice. We get a little bit of XP, a little bit of money, and then we move on to Bergumi. Bergumi suspiciously has suspectedly has some information. And hold on, I got a really hard boss fight. We're gonna pause for this quickly.
For sure, lock in.
Oh, now go.
Oh my goodness, that was
So it goes.
Very nice.
that was really tough.
I'll be honest, I didn't know whether you were doing a bit or whether you actually needed focus time, so glad to
Honestly,
get the answer sooner than later.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised myself. Sometimes you can get a really low roll on the damage.
Oh, yeah.
For Bergomi,
sure.
and the boss, the typically larger. I'll steal this now.
Right.
I'm technically
A
happy.
large expressive sprite. That's how you know they're a boss.
Yes, he will not die,
Right.
which is not the worst. You can, if you have a large stone, you can just use the large stone to take them out. But
And we picked up that extra in the cave
yeah,
earlier.
we picked up the extra, so just as a bit of safety. But I really did not want to have to use that there because I like using a large stone to finish out the father fight to make sure that we get the Conqueror Sword, to make sure that we get overkill. Overkill is a mechanic that gives us extra XP. So it's really nice. There are two categories. There are dominated and overkill. Overkill will give us extra XP, and I believe dominated gives us more money. We're gonna take your jewel. All right, we're gonna switch back to Inventor quickly because we can kill the encounters over here with Inventor, which is nice because we don't want to have to spend money. We're gonna be spending a decent chunk fighting Mom. Speaking of which, we're moving so fast. We've moved in chapter 3 already.
What to do?
So we're in chapter 3, part A. Okay, I am on axe. This is the mother chapter.
I take.
We'll be going and confronting Mom. At the end of chapter 2.
Speaking of things
Sorry.
you might do for your mother, don't forget that Mother's Day is coming up soon. If you're if you're in the U.S.
Yes, Mother's Day is right around the corner for any of our.
Maybe don't do for your mother what
US-based
Throne
people.
is going to do.
Yes, Throne. Well, actually, speaking of that, we're getting to something really interesting. So at the end of chapter 2, both of them, we find out the locations of Mother and Father. And so now that we're in chapter 3, we got to go and confront them. So we are in Mother's garden. So Mother's garden is her whole front is that she has an orphanage and raises people, but actually it's a front for the Thieves Guild. So we're gonna go and we're gonna take out Mother. The reason that we want to kill Mother and Father is because we learned early on that they have. All right, I don't like the snake. So we're going to spend the extra turn defending. We learned that they have keys that will unlock our Thieves' Collar. So we want the collar off. We need the keys. We gotta go take Mother and Father's keys from them, which we are hoping to just take, but I don't think that that's gonna happen. Ooh, 2 snakes.
My
All right, either way, thing doesn't change. We're Inventor. Move to the axe. Changeable catapult. The encounter's done. I like to force an encounter here, specifically because we need to change the merchant class. Use a lychee there. We need to change the merchant class for the encounter with Mom. And if you don't get an encounter there before, sometimes walking up to Mom, you can get an encounter, and then it sucks. All right, so we are on to Mom.
Cleaning time.
So we are going to first bring her down. We're going to break her shields to get to a value that we can deal with 1 beast. We're going to get attacked, and that's fine.
Cleaning
Right,
time.
we're gonna see the first instance of Armor Corrosive. Armor Corrosive is a debuff that reduces physical defense. And now that we've reduced the physical defense, we're gonna break her and the ad. All right, now that she's broken, Throne stepped on a crack, so she broke her mother's back. But we're just gonna, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're just going to go through and keep breaking and keep using beasts.
Okay.
Technically,
Are we
Mother is
optimizing
dead.
for expenditure there in terms of
Yes.
not using some? Okay, makes sense.
Yes. Mother is technically dead, but the rest of the bosses from here on out have a cutscene gate, or a dialogue gate, meaning that they cannot die before they say their piece.
Makes sense.
So we had to take that 1 extra turn and just a regular attack to make sure that we took Mother down.
Reminds me of the Assassin's Creed games and their habit for being wordy at the moment when you finish off a target, which is very appropriate considering our character and their story.
Yep.
I'll take.
Very, very appropriate. So we got Mother's key, and we found out from Mother that that she may not be who she says she is. It's very alluded to, but we'll touch on it later after we kill Father, because Father will kind of. Mother alludes, Father speaks plainly. Gist of it is Mother and Father are not who they say they are, which, typical fashion. They run a thieves guild. It's kind of how it works.
I was gonna say, thieves practicing perfidy, thieves telling lies. Who would have guessed?
Now go.
Ooh. Okay, we got the cape. That's fine.
All tidied up.
Accidentally used a beast there, but that's no issue. I account for that. I account for a mismenu we pick up extra money along the way. So in cases where I mismenu and use a beast when I'm not supposed to,
you've got enough bonus cash for one or two mismenus of that nature.
Yes, that is the case.
Let's play.
Nice.
All right, so in here, we're supposed to be using guards because they have enough damage to kill and cost 8,000 less than the beasts do. So we are, at this point, we're just running to Father. And we are going to take him out the same way we did Mother. We want his key. If he will not give it to us, we will take it by force. All right, fully healed. We have LP. We take a safety save here, because sometimes Father can act a little strangely sometimes. But so we are moving on to the Father fight. Father's pretty scripted, but depending on turn order, it can get a little messy. So we're just gonna make sure that we're fine. Alrighty. Again, just like normal, we're going to get him down to a range that we can break and deal some extra damage with a beast. I'm going to heal up here just to make sure. By using that heal, we also get all of our battle points back, which allow us to do this. We're going to armor corrosive like normal. Then we are going to break with beasts. Again, beasts will deal shield damage, agnostic to any weapon type. And then we're going to smack him with our most powerful, while being still cost effective, the veterans. So we'll know if we did it right if Father starts talking. There we go. And so we should be in the clear. We have more than enough HP to survive that. And then we are going to use that large stone I picked up earlier just to make sure that we get the overkill.
I take what I want.
All right. And that is chapter 3. So at the end of chapter 3, we figure out Mom and Dad are not who they say they are. Mom is not actually our mom. And shocker, Dad's not our dad. Wow. The whole bit
you mean
is
the quotations around their names in the wiki was... Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know. So we're going to... we're moving into our second grind, which is the EXP grind. We need to be level 34 for the... excuse me, a step ahead into extra experience. We need to be level 34 for the fourth and final chapter of Throne's story. There is a, oops. We'll see if we can kill with this. Probably not. I was supposed to switch back to merchant. I was thinking about the first grind. We're just gonna see if we can run away. That's fine. We should die soon. Yeah, we'll die here. That's fine. Oh, come on.
Not like this.
I was supposed to switch to merchant. This grind, we have more than enough money, so we will just be using... Let me see if the skills stuck. They did. All right, jobs, scholar, for scholar to merchant. There we go. All right. We have more than enough money at this point to use hired help to kill these encounters. So that's what we'll do. We'll just go to hired help.
Now go.
And a beast is more than enough to finish every encounter here. So we're just going to be using that until we hit level 32. Or not 32, 34. in terms of Throne's story, again, we figured out mom and dad are not mom and dad. They in fact watched my mom. They in fact let my actual mom die in the street right after she gave birth. Really, really cruel, if you ask me. And we found out that our dad is some dude named Claude. Never heard of him before, but he's our dad apparently. So the other revelation of chapter 3 is that the 2 keys are not the 2 keys that we need. All right, this could be an issue. This will be an issue. I should have healed, but that's neither here nor there. The 2 keys that we got are not, they do not work for the 2 keyholes that we have in our lock. We need another key. And that key, we suspect, is, all right, we'll survive this, but because I'm at full health, but that's unfortunate from before. Alrighty. But so we suspect that we need to go find our actual dad and get his key to leave. Alrighty. So we're just going to be grinding here for a while. If you have any questions or anyone in chat has questions, I'm going to use.
Sure. Yeah, we had a question earlier as you were going through the mother and father fights, wondering how your guards were dealing so much damage. Do you have specific like job skills or other things where the item usage that was further increasing their damage?
So guards, so each of the hired helps have their own attack values and their own crit chance, all that stuff. So my damage is kind of, okay. I'm there. Sure, it's fine. We're gonna teleport back and heal. Teleporting will give me the autosave, and I ran out of healing items, so we're gonna quickly go to the inn. But as I was saying, all of the hired help have their own damage values and their own crit values. So for the most part, guards and up will most likely crit on most of the hits. So it really helps because crits are 1.5. Oh my goodness, this is a big enemy. This is what's called a cultured Kate. They give a lot of money. I believe they give 50,000.
All tidied up.
Which basically, yes, 50,000. And I think we're done with our grind. Yes, we are done with our grind.
It seems like it.
So we'll have no problem hitting our money goal. Neither will we have any problem hitting our level goal. They give just like a chubby Kate's, which is what that big guy was. He's a big chubby Kate. He gives a lot of money and a lot of XP. He's just a bigger, more beefier version of a regular Kate. This is the guy right here that we needed level 34 to knock out. He's the reason we have to do that grind. And yeah, so we are headed into the final area of the game. We are headed, well, give me a second. Almost forgot to put my, whoops.
Oh yeah, damage skills on.
Almost,
yeah.
Yep. Almost forgot to put on the evasive maneuvers, cutting things in half. And one of the other crucial things for this run has been step ahead. Oh my god, we got the funny one.
What?
Sorry. We got the funny 1%.
Yeah,
there's a
basically
1%
no percent chance to not flee.
Yes, there's a very, very small percent chance to not flee, and we hit it. I was talking to someone earlier about how funny it would be. That's
very D&D style. You roll a 1 while fighting a single rat.
Yep, absolutely. It's very funny. I haven't seen it in a long time. I was very surprised that I hit that.
For sure.
But this part, we're heading to the final city. We are heading to where we hear Claude resides. This is Lost Seed. It is kind of like a decrepit, old, broken down kingdom that New Delsta was kind of built on top of. So we go down into the sewer, and then we find the secret access way down to Lost Seed, where we can find Claude. This is the very end of the run. So because of that, we don't, whoops, wrong menu. We don't need some of our equipment anymore. We don't need the Octopath, which increased the chance of rare enemies spawning. We don't need our fire starter, which is a sword that we picked up at the beginning, which increases the damage dealt by fire skills, which is the reason why we had the, yes, okay, we have more than enough money. Which is the reason why we were the scholar in our grind, the JP, because, or at the beginning before we moved to inventor, because we had the fire starter to help us outpace the enemy's health. So we are heading into the last dungeon. We should have, if I do my walking and running correctly, we should have 2 more encounters before the final boss. All right, here's one of them, and we were caught by surprise. Typical Octopath fashion.
Yeah, perfect. It
There's a
proves
chance
that we
you
were in
don't die
fact we were in fact playing Octopath since we were caught
That
by
is
surprise.
true. That is true. We were in fact playing Octopath.
Basically, it's a validation of the run. The run is valid
Yes.
now. We got caught by surprise.
Yes, this is a valid run.
Let's play.
All right, so we have more than enough money to just continue to throw
Now go.
money at our problems.
Yeah, especially
again-
with our bonus Kates.
I take
Yep,
what
exactly.
I want.
Beasts are more than enough to deal. They deal more than enough damage to take care of any of the encounters in here. We just have to make sure that we get a turn. So yeah, as we're making our way up to the final boss, I guess I'll kind of plug myself a little bit. As I've been, I have not changed during the run, but as I've been since the beginning, I'm Jacoby. I stream on Twitch pretty much weekly. Well, there's a chance that, okay, we're fine. I think we should be fine here. Yeah, we'll be fine.
What to do?
Actually want to defend. There we go.
Now go.
Okay, we're good. Sorry for that interruption.
No. That, by all means, cut yourself off if you need to focus. That's how it goes. I've absolutely done that while showcasing.
So I'm Jacoby. I stream most days of the week. For the most part, we're gonna heal with this full heal, and we are going to make a safety save. Just in case, since I got that encounter a little earlier, we're gonna do another save quit.
And reset our step
to
counter.
make sure. To reset the step counter, just to make sure. And we are headed into the final boss. All right, I will need to focus a little bit. So there's a bunch of variations of this, based on the amount of money you have. We have way more than enough money. So we are going to do what I consider the fastest, is we're going to spend a lot to debuff him. We're gonna spend all of our JP to debuff him for a while. Then we are going to get our our BP and our latent power back, so that we can have 2 turns. Claude's gimmick is that he will lock our primary skills and then turn into bosses that Throne has fought previously, which is really cool in the run, because you get to see, oh look, oh my god, it's Pyro again, oh, and then Bergomi. It's really cool when you're actually playing. It's very, very fun. But so we hit our little dialogue check, so we're good. We finished off Claude, and time is not yet.
Tidied up.
Time is on the when the Finn screen with like the Throne art shows up. So we will be stealing the key, and then we have to just skip 3 cutscenes. 1, 2, 3, and time.
GG's.
So that was Throne solo. I hope you guys really enjoyed. As I was saying before, I decided to take on the final boss. I've been Jacoby. I pretty much stream Octopath for the most part. We are actually, I saw a game that came out sort of recently called Escape from Ever After. Little plug for that. I'm going to be playing that on stream. Maybe potentially for a speedrun. If people don't really know what that is, it's Paper Mario meets corporate greed. Which is kind of interesting. The whole plot is that you're a storybook character, and real-life companies have started to come into storybooks and plunder them for their resources. So you and all the stories have to band together to drive out the real corporations and save your stories. It looks really fun,
geez.
so I'm going to be playing that on stream. You can find me.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish first.
Oh, I was gonna say, it reminds me of, there was a roguelike a few years ago called Going Under that had kind of a similar premise, so it's just very reminiscent, but very
Nice,
cool.
I'll
Yeah,
check that out.
I actually wanted to ask you about other RPGs you were interested in, knowing that you've been a fan of speedruns and probably also RPGs for a long time. So knowing that you're moving on to or potentially branching out to another project is very exciting.
Yeah. That'll be. I'm very excited to start that. I stream most days of the week. If you really want to know when I stream, you can follow me on Twitch. You'll get a notification every time I go live. I have a YouTube, which is mainly for VODs. I might start doing scripted content, but we'll see. You can follow me on Blue Sky, Instagram. I think I have Twitter. I have many of the social medias. You typically, if you look up Jacoby, you'll Jacoby 101, you'll find me. So if you enjoyed what you saw, please stop by. Again, I stream most days of the week. I'll post on socials when I actually go live and stuff. So yeah.
And if you haven't yet, please congratulate Jacoby on finishing his first run on the Games Done Quick HotFix.
Yeah,
definitely hope to see you back again.
Yes, this was my first run live for a showcase. And I'm very, very thankful for getting picked by Ateatree to showcase what Octopath 2 Solo has to offer. It's a very, very great game. Solo is a very, very interesting category. Before I go, quick shout outs to the Octopath community, specifically Alta, who's running Galdera in RPG Limit Break, which will be very, very good. He's running OT1 Galdera. That'll be good. Anime fan for actually being the one to get me out from being a watcher and is now becoming a runner. Thank you for doing that. I very much appreciate for what you did. To my friends and family, though they don't understand for the most part, very being supportive. And yeah, again, another shout out to Ateatree for allowing me to be on here and showcasing what I and the Octopath games have to offer. So yeah.